Buddy, I'm here with the mad scientist again. So my car has been having trouble starting, and he offered to help it out. What happened lately? My 2005 Honda Civic. When I start it, when I turn the key, like I hear a little like ding, ding, like something real faint. It almost sounds like a spring or something, but the engine doesn't turn over. And so he looked down there recently and saw that it looks like the starter's really corroded. So hopefully, if he can just he can clean up the starter, that's not the issue, but if he can just clean up the corrosion, we'll see whether that was the issue, where the car wasn't starting, or if I just need a new starter. And you're removing, what is this again?
I believe there's only three 10mm bolts
Okay.
to hold the air cleaner on.
You'll hear the three 10mm bolts, and this is the air cleaner right here, air filter. And the starter's somewhere down under there. And how much do you think a shop would charge for all this? Or, I mean, I don't know if they would even clean it. They'd probably just replace the starter.
They'd probably tell you off the top that you need a new starter.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm assuming. They would not bother cleaning it.
I mean, they might clean it when they replace the starter, but they're not going to tell you that you don't need one. They're just going to go ahead
Okay.
and tell you you need a new one, because that's just more money in their pocket.
Right, exactly. Well, they were telling me, and I used that rubbing compound again. So for people who don't know, the mad scientist here, he showed me how to clean the headlights so they're nice and restored now. Because the past inspection, they said, oh, they're installed all bad. The headlights are foggy. We might have to replace them. It's going to be $250. Well, I just got the rubbing compound, rubbed this on, and they passed inspection. So that shows you what the mechanic was trying to do. They're like, oh, geez, man. I don't know if this car is going to make it another 50 miles. Could be another 100 miles. Could be 10,000. I just don't know. And also, so once he's actually down at the starter, he's got a metal brush like you use on a barbecue grill. You can get those at Dollar Tree too, and that's what he's going to use to scrape off the corrosion.
So yes, it was 5 bolts total.
5 bolts. All right. Nice. Okay, y'all see that the air filter is coming out.
Air box.
Air box? Okay, excuse me.
And now you can see the starter. That's the starter right here.
Okay.
And that's the starter solenoid. You can see how that wire right there is all corroded.
Okay. All right.
And one thing before working on any electrical components, always take off the negative battery terminal.
Okay, you all hear that? Always, before you work on the electronics on the car, take off the negative battery terminal.
You won't shock yourself. Okay. Size. It's bigger than 10mm.
By the way, my mom's, her porch, the roof is still all just torn out from the last contractor who was working on it. She hasn't even bothered trying to get anybody to put in, not the roof, the whole ceiling. because apparently it was put in with really cheap materials.
Gotcha. Worse, but could be better.
Okay. Do you think it's just coincidence that since I've been living in my car, I had this issue with the starter, or does something about running the car a lot, idling it, cause the starter to corrode?
Well, essentially, the starter has a starter's not always engaged on the engine. So once it starts up, it drops out. Basically, it's attached to the flywheel, and essentially what it does is once it starts up, it drops back into the starter, so it disengages from the flywheel.
So I'm guessing this was just time.
Yeah.
Had this car for, well, it's 2005, but I've had it since 2009, so 10 years now. All right, now here he goes with the metal brush.
See all that stuff coming off there.
So again, after this, once he does this, I'm going to be able to see if the car starts right away, regularly. Okay, then we know it was the starter that was corroded that was impeding the car from starting regularly. If not, it just means the starter might be worn out, or whatever the case, starter needs to be replaced.
Luckily, this is a quick fix.
Right. Okay, you all hear that? He's cleaning the terminal now too.
Essentially what there is there's a connection. This connection here comes from the ignition. So the ignition sends a signal to your solenoid. Battery power comes and attaches to the solenoid, and once you turn the key on the ignition, it sends power from the solenoid to the starter to start the car.
And that corrosion, I guess it was just impeding the electrical, the transfer electrical charge, whatever. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, starters are, mechanical part of a car, and they do go bad. So
yeah, well, and like I said too, I always hear it almost sounds like pulling on like a door stop when I turn the key, like a little doing. You got to listen for it. But so something's like moving somewhere, and the car, again, the engine would not turn over, so I wasn't hearing the.
Yeah, that's usually the same sound you get when you need to jump your car, and that's it's a sign that there's not enough power getting through.
Yeah.
If you weren't getting any clicking or anything like that, that's pretty much when you know it's the starter.
Okay.
You need to replace, but it can still be the starter. So, and again, that's really not hard to get to. So it came down to having to replace the starter. Done.
Oh, you all hear that? Mad Scientist is offering to replace my starter.
In the battery terminals.
Yeah, take a little off the top too.
Yep.
If I could go back 15 years ago, I probably would have tried to learn like carpentry, car repair, it's practical stuff for, you know, make my own furniture, fix my own car. So remember that, all you young people watching out there, think about learning a skill.
Right.
Trade, I mean. So that was pretty much it for the cleaning. Looks like Mad Scientist put everything back together.
Go ahead and clean the positive terminal of the battery.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
And we were lucky today with the weather. It's nice out. It was raining like pretty much all day yesterday. So don't attempt this unless you have a covering or there's no precipitation. Actually, I fell asleep in my car with the trunk open the other night when it was raining. So I looked in the trunk. I was like, oh shit, stuff's gonna be. I have an old pair of dress shoes in there. I'm like, they got all wet. I don't wear them much anyway, so I threw those away. Old like big, huge, Notorious B.I.G. style jacket, like big puffy coat. I got a Gallows for like $34. Anywhere else, I bet that would have been like $70. But yeah, that was all just like mold and everything on it. So I never wore that anyways. Threw that out. Let y'all get a close up of cleaning the terminal and the connector that goes on to it. A lot of like crud coming off there. Nice.
Yes.
And again, this is a 2005 Honda Civic EX, so your car might be different. If you're working on yours, some cars, I'm sure like you need to raise it or something, you know, a lot of newer cars like BMWs and all those ones where it's like even the headlight, you need a mechanic just to replace it. Tightening up the clamps on the terminals.
At least that is.
A little more dirt and corrosion in there. actually quite a bit of corrosion in there. Bunch of dirt.
And it's actually keeping this clamp from shutting all the way.
Happen to have jumper cables?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I might actually.
Okay. Yeah, we literally our truck won't start.
Okay. Well, give me 1 second.
No, that's fine. Take your time. Appreciate that.
Let's see if this thing shuts. That could have been part of the problem too.
Yeah.
Is that the
I can see that.
yeah,
I did get the terminals cleaned off lately when I started having this problem. The terminals cleaned off, but it's obvious they didn't clean the clamps.
yeah, well, the fact that it wouldn't shut, but it wouldn't clamp all the way down, which means this was a loose connection.
Oh, okay.
Still,
So you'll hear that. So because the clamp wasn't clean, it couldn't even close all the way, so it might have been a loose connection on the battery as well. So all kinds of things you need like an attention to detail for. You could overlook something easily.
So gearbox going back in.
All right, there we go. Everybody get your own mad scientist to do this stuff. Don't pay a mechanic if you don't have to.
maybe I turn around the right way. I hope. Like a glove.
And again, this has got 5 screws right here. Fasten that down. And think about it, you pay a mechanic probably for this like $70 to $90 just for the labor for 1 hour, which you probably get charged for that just for this process, even though it took, so far we've been filming for 18 minutes. If you're lucky, maybe they'll charge a half hour. Uh-oh. I'll take a look under there. Alright, so screw fell under engine. Let's see, can I reach it? It didn't fall on the ground, I don't think. Yeah, it's not on the pavement. It's somewhere down there. Oh. So whether this ultimately works or not to make the car start properly, we'll see. But at least we're going to know if I truly need a new charger, or if I can save myself the expense and the car will start with just a clean charger. Now, my friend here, he's looking for the last bolt. Where the hell could it fall? But I've had something else fall in here before, I know. Maybe if somebody ever takes this apart, they'll find like a screwdriver or something in here. But there's another screw fell in here. Let me turn on the flash. Well, this flashlight's not strong enough on my phone. Oh, you found it? Somewhere under there. Nice.
The other thing, if you have problems starting this too, you can always take like a metal hammer or something and tap on that starter.
Right.
A lot of times it will start up.
Okay. So you good to go?
Yep.
All right. So let's take a look. I'm gonna. Now sometimes it starts up anyways, so I'm not gonna 100% know whether it's fixed right now. But at least with this cleaned, if I have this problem again, I can be fairly certain that it just needs a new starter. But I'll try it a few times now and let's see. Now that had a good feel to it. You know what? That sounded different too. It sounds like that. I didn't hear that before. Before it was like a low power start or something like that. So, well, anyways,
it could have made a difference.
Yeah, I think so. It sounded different. So again, I'll find out for sure. But at least now, if it doesn't start again, I know it's just the starter needs to go. But I don't know. I got a good feeling about it.
The good thing is it didn't not start.
Right. Yeah. So that would be the guarantee. The
yes,
one.
If it didn't start up now, we're in trouble. So.
All right. Well, thank the mad scientist here for helping me out. So again, get yourself somebody who can work on your car like that. It's 2005 Honda Civic EX. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.